I'm 17 years old. I'm a junior in high school. So I'm still in the system that I'm about to talk about today. And if you're a student in here, you probably know this moment. You go to school, you open your laptop, and your school portal loads. Assignments, deadlines, grades, and notifications. Everything is there, and everything is tracked. But then sometimes you get hit with a thought. What should I actually focus on? What matters the most? What should I do next? We have more information than any generation before us. But then we have less clarity than ever. And that's not a student problem, that's a system problem. Because modern education is very, very good at collecting information, but it's not very good at guiding decisions. It tells you where you stand, but it doesn't tell you where to go. But here's what's interesting. Education wasn't always like this. In Japan, during the Edo period, there was a system called Terakoya. Small local learning communities, children learned reading, writing, and practical life skills. More importantly, they were personal. Students didn't all move in the same pace. They didn't all learn the same way. Teachers understood each other as the students individually. They guided them based on who they were. Learning wasn't standardized. It was human. It was adaptive. It was connected to real life. And in many ways, that's what we've lost today. Today, we've built a system that works incredibly well at scale. Standardized curriculum, standardized pacing, and standardized evaluation. It's efficient, but for many students, it feels like moving forward without knowing which direction they're actually going. And that's where uncertainty in education begins. Sorry, the photo is not loading, but it's an excellent depiction of the Terakoya in the Edo period. Not because students lack ability, but because they lack guidance. For me, this isn't something I just observe, but it was something I experienced day to day at school. I saw people around me working incredibly hard, doing everything they were told to do by their parents and teachers, and still asking themselves, am I doing the right things? Am I focusing on what actually matters? I realized something very simple. Students don't need more information. They need something or someone that helps them understand themselves. With this, I started asking a different question. What if every student had access to guidance that was actually personal? Not generic advice, or not one-size-fits-all pathways, but something that understands how you learn, what you need, and what you should do next. That idea is what led me to build something called Nexa. But this is not really about my startup. It's a shift in thinking. Because what Nexa represents is an attempt to bring back the idea behind the Terakoya using the technologies we have today. It connects the pieces that the students already have. Grades, assignments, and learning platforms. But instead of just displaying them, it interprets them. It helps identify patterns, where you're strong, where you're struggling, what actually matters right now. Not just measuring performance, but guiding direction overall. And importantly, this is not about replacing teachers. Because the goal should never be artificial intelligence replacing humans. The goal is something I think is much more powerful, much more important, and much more realistic. And that's technology and humans working together to understand the students more and more deeply. Today, that idea of mine, which is Nexa, has grown up to a platform used by thousands and thousands of students across Japan. And that's not the most important part. What matters is what we represent. It's a different way of thinking about education. Because when students feel understood, something changes. They stop asking, am I smart enough? But instead they start asking, what am I capable of? So when we think about the future of education, maybe the answer is not to make it more complex. Maybe it's to make it more human again, in a sense. To bring back what we had once, but this time at a scalable amount. A world where every student has guidance, where learning adapts to the individual, and where education is not about surviving a system, but discovering your potential. Because the problem was never the students. The problem was that our systems stopped seeing that clearly at one point. But now we have finally made the tools to change that. And when education begins to truly understand the student, the future of learning becomes limitless. Thank you.